Okay, perfect. So, good evening and welcome to today's Traders and Investors Meet. In today's meet, I'll be taking queries from different traders and investors present here with us, and I'll be sharing my technical analysis view on the same. So, I'll be taking queries regarding stocks, commodities, index, futures and options, and cryptocurrencies, and I'll be giving my technical view on the same. Basically, you can ask me anything. So without wasting much time, let's get started with our today's session. So a little bit about myself. Uh, I'm a full-time equity and derivatives trader and trainer. So I am currently 23 years old and I'm based out of Jaipur, Rajasthan. I am currently in the final year of my graduation, pursuing BA honors in economics. I am also pursuing CFA and actuarial sciences from IIM Mumbai. With a little over 9 years of experience in the market, I started my journey at the age of 14, and since then I have trained about 1,000 plus people and conducted over 50 plus webinars since the start of my journey. So I have attained these four following certifications from NISL, and yeah, since most of you already know me, but yeah, that's a little bit about myself. So what we'll do is we'll just get started with our today's session. Now, let me tell you how we'll be going to take the doubts. Uh, I'll be taking doubts by allowing one by one every participant to unmute himself, right? So what you have to do is you have to just click on the raise hand button if you have any questions which you want to ask me regarding any stock, any futures and options, or any cryptocurrency, so or any kind of commodity. And then I'll just take up your question and give you the technical analysis view on the same, which I have on that stock. Taking queries on chat can be very, very difficult since uh, chats tend to get going quite fast. So what we'll do is we will go like first half hour, we'll go on the unmute thing. I'll allow each and every one of you to unmute yourself. And then for the next 30 minutes, we'll just take the queries through the chat in case, we have lesser number of participants with us. So let's just start with, taking the first query. Just give me 1 minute. I have a small thing to do. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, till then, you can raise your hands in case you have any questions. I'll just, pick up in 1 or 2 minutes. Yes. Okay. So let's just get started. Let's see who has raised the first hand and has the first question. We have KR Dharmendra. So I'll just ask him to unmute himself.
Yeah. Good evening, Riyank.
Hi Dharmendra, how are you doing today?
Yeah, fine. Actually, my friend Dr. Vivekanandan only sent the link. Okay. So it's a pleasure to join with you. So yes. In this market, have we reached the bottom? What's your opinion?
I mean, seeing the index, Nifty, it is at a quite crucial support. Like I said, 15,600 to 15,800 is a good support. So currently the market is at a support, and I personally feel that we can see a pullback rally till 17,500 or so. So I am bullish for now, considering the price action and the chart which is available with us. So talking about bottom is quite tough, but overall the trend is quite positive, so you don't have to worry about anything.
Okay. So there may not be any downfall, almost unlikely.
See, until we do not break below 15,600, I think we are safe.
Okay. And I want to ask one more question. Because of the increasing number of retailers without any basic knowledge, so where we are trading, whether it is healthy situation or not, because retailers are confusing every day, I think.
See, the increase in number of retailers is absolutely all right, but the increase in number of retailers with no knowledge is not good, right? Because having knowledge in markets is always important before you start off with anything. So regardless, I just like to stick with my system. I just like to stick with the chart which they are telling me. Like I told you, until we are, as long as we are trading above 15,600, we don't really have to worry about anything. And yeah, so that's not really big of a concern.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Have a good day. Okay. So let's see if anyone more has any questions. You can just click on the raise hand button and I'll allow you to unmute yourself and you can ask your question on any stocks, commodities, index or futures. In case people are a bit uncomfortable in unmuting the mic, you can also put your question in the chat box. The chat box is also open for any kind of queries.
Hi, Riyank. Good evening.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Good evening. Yes. How are you
Ronak
doing?
here. Yeah.
Yes, Ronak.
So I just wanted your views on silver. If you track or if you can just check the chart.
Okay, let me check first. What kind of view are you looking for on silver? Is it like a long-term view or a short-term view?
So actually, I'm looking for a short-term view of 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so here we have with us the chart of silver. Okay, so currently the long-term trend on silver is quite positive, given the fact that we got a breakout above this level, and we are retesting the zone of $20 to $21. So whenever you are analyzing silver, it is best to see the foreign contract, which is the CFD on silver, the US dollar, right? Which in terms of USD. So the overall long-term structure is quite bullish, considering that we got a breakout and we are also retesting. If I shift to weekly, you can see some positive price action being formed. We have a green bar here. So if you are talking about like 1 to 2 weeks view, then in that case, you will have to see the hourly charts. And, if I see the hourly charts here, then for 2 to 3 weeks, you can keep a stop loss at $21.25, right? Which is this one. So you can, see this chart and trade in the Indian silver contract. So your stop loss will be this particular swing low, which is the $21.26. And on the upside, I think you can see levels of 23 and 23.5 coming. So yeah, the silver is looking quite bullish for 2 to 3 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay, I think we had some questions in the chat box. So let me just have a look at that. In case anyone wants to talk with me, you can always raise your hand and I'll allow you to unmute yourself. So our first question is from Ganesh. He's asking view on Adani Wilmar. As you might know, I am quite bullish on this stock, and so the analysis is already plotted. So if I shift to the daily charts here, what I can see is that pretty evident trend line which we can connect using these 2 points. And if I shift to weekly, you can see that the stock touches the trend line perfectly here. So now what I'm expecting is that I'm expecting a good breakout above the level of 878. Clearly, in case the stock goes below 540, the stock will become weak. So below 540, the stock is weak, Adani will not. And on the upside, move of somewhere around 335 points above 878 can be very, very easy. So on the upside, the targets are quite evident, which is coming somewhere around 1215 and 1500. So with a stop loss of about 540, targets of 1215 and 1500 on arrival one. Apcotex Industries, if you can explain the chart and views. Okay, let me have a look at Apcotex Industries as well. So Apcotex Industries on monthly charts has given a quite strong breakout above this resistance zone. Let me get the number down. Above this resistance zone, we have got a quite great breakout. So for the long term view, the stock is quite bullish and a buy on declines, as well as for short term, the trend remains quite bullish. So on the upside, you can see levels of somewhere around 700 and 750 coming in, and the stop loss see right now is somewhere around 300 weekly closing basis. So buying right now would not make a lot of sense. In case you get a retest of the zone like 400 to 450, then it would be a great buy. That is on Apcotex Industries. Then we have long-term investment view on Bombay Burma Trading Corporation, KPIT, and HDFC Life. Okay, so we have VBTC, KPIT, and HDFC Life. Okay, so this is Bombay Burma Trading Corporation. The chart is looking quite neutral right here. We did get a breakout above this point, but then the stock started to come down all of a sudden. So currently the stock is trading in a downward channel, right? Clearly the stock is trading in a downward channel right now, and buying right now is not really looking like a good choice, given that you have ample good opportunities here. So Bombay Burma is an avoid for me. Next we have KPIT. Okay, so this is the chart of KPIT with me. Given that the stop loss is coming somewhere around 450 on daily closing basis, but that would be for short term. And since that person has asked for long term, so let's give him that view. Now on long term charts, monthly charts, the stock has given quite a vertical rally. So in case we ever get a vertical rally, it is best to keep the stop loss at the previous candle low. So the stop loss is coming 450 on monthly closing basis for KPIT. The chart is looking quite positive, given that the stock is trading around 506, 507. It is looking like a lucrative buy, right? An attractive buy at current levels. So yeah, KPIT is looking quite great. And for targets, you can keep above the previous all-time high, which is 800 and 1200. So looking quite good, KPIT. Then we have HDFC Life for the long-term investment. Let's have a look at that. Okay, so this is HDFC Life. We have quite limited data with us, and all the insurance companies, they have quite good future prospects going forward. And even in the March fall, it came somewhere around 344. Right now, it is trading, I think, somewhere around 544. So it is slightly below this swing level. I think you can create an SIP on the stock and just slowly accumulate it. You don't have to make any kind of lump sum investment on it. On upside, you can easily see 4 digits coming up. 1000 and 1500 is quite likely on the stock. So continue going an SIP mode on this particular stock. Okay, you do not have to make a lump sum investment on it. Just go slow and steady. Dear Young, there has been talks of global recession due to inflation in US, Europe, and currency printing in the past. And its payback time and financial authorities have inclined for rate hikes and other measures. What's your view on the same? And any methodology of it occurs like going in cash or anything else? Okay, so that's quite a fundamental question, given the fact that see, I have practiced technical analysis throughout my journey. So I'm afraid I won't be able to answer on the fundamental part a lot. In case we have any other participant who has quite good knowledge in fundamentals and so who can that can particularly help you better, or you can just send me this question. I'll ask few of my friends who are quite good into fundamentals. I'll just give you my number at the end of the session. Then you can just WhatsApp me this question and I'll provide you the answer. In case you need, technical analysis view on any stock or any kind of index or any global markets or anything, that I can help you with very well. Can you please share your view on gold? Okay. So we have here, the chart of gold with us. Gold saw quite a good breakout above these all-time highs, and it is right now going into a, consolidation process. So gold is, clearly a buy at current levels. You can just, buy it in lump sum also right now, given the fact that, it has given quite a good breakout and it is going in consolidation. So for long term, it is quite good enough to buy. The stop loss, which you can preferably keep, should be somewhere around 1650 on monthly closing basis. And on the upside, well, you can expect it going till 3000 or $3,200. So gold chart is looking quite bullish for long term, quite good to buy at current levels. Technical analysis view on Tata Elxsi and LTTS. Okay, Tata Elxsi C is personally my favorite. You will see this stock going till 10,000 levels quite soon. I had shared a study on Tata Elxsi few days back as well. We had got a breakout above this particular resistance zone right here. यहाँ पे एक breakout आया था. And then after that, the stock came down and it retested this particular zone. So we had this particular zone and the stock retested the same, right here. Now, similarly, we got another breakout above this particular resistance zone. अब ये वाले resistance zone के ऊपर जब breakout आया ना, then the zone which it had to retest was this zone, right? On any kind of downfall, it was supposed to retest this zone and then see some buying strength or buying momentum. So clearly that happened. It retested somewhere around 11th May, and now the stock is going up. So I personally think, Tata Elxsi is going for 10,000. And there's nothing really to worry about the same. The only small bit of concern would be this gap, which it left somewhere around 6,975 to 7,190. In case the market dips, this would be a great buying level. But yeah, it is going for 10,000, so you can maintain a hold. Similarly, on L&T Technology Services, LTTS and LTI started to fall big time after the results. So we got a, first wave reversal starting from here. But, if you see the monthly charts, clearly a vertical rally. Okay, the stock continued to go up and away. Now what has happened is, कि ये वाले high के ऊपर मेरे को breakout मिला, but then I did not really get a breakout above this particular high. But when I got a breakout above this high, this low on monthly closing basis is a very, very crucial level. So now I, very evidently know that 3,500 का जो level है on monthly closing basis is very, very crucial. A monthly closing basis का मतलब क्या होता है कि month end पे जो stock कहाँ पे close हो रहा है, that level is very, very important. So 3,500 to 4,000 is an excellent buying level for L&T Technology Services. Now, given the fact that ये 3,500 के नीचे already 3,380 का low बना चुका है, अगर ये 3,500 के ऊपर monthly closing दे देता है, I will start to buy on this stock, as given the fact that current levels are very, very attractive to buy on the same. So yeah, quite good buying level at current levels. View on Sanghi Industries and BHEL. Okay, let me have a look at that. Sanghi Industries. Sanghi Industries, if I see on the monthly charts only, we had a clean and clear downtrend here. अब ये downtrend का मेरे को breakout मिला यहाँ पे, but then this breakout completely gave me quite a failure, going down all the way to 43. So Sanghi is not really looking attractive to me. In case you have any holding, you should just take an exit and search for better opportunities in other stocks. BHEL. Okay, let me have a look at that. Okay, so this is the chart of BHEL, and BHEL saw the first ABC reversal pattern right here above 44, and after making a low of about 26. So BHEL is looking quite into consolidation setup, right? ये वाले high के ऊपर breakout आया, but then this level was quite good, so it acted as support. So ये पूरा consolidation में चल रहा है. Right now, the overall trend is looking positive. You can keep a stop loss at 43 weekly closing basis, and you can maintain a hold. You can possibly see levels of 76 and 80 revisiting soon. So you can maintain a hold on BHEL. Next, we have what time frame should we see on commodities, 1 hour or 75 minutes? Yeah, depend करता है 1 hour या 75 minutes को. Typically, I like to stick with hourly time frame only. There are some people who like to see 75 minutes also, but the type of analysis which I do and the way I stick with it, I just prefer to see the hourly charts. Divis Lab and L&T Infotech. Okay, let's have a look at that. Okay, so this is the chart of Divis Lab. Once again, we saw a vertical rally from 2nd May 2017 एक के बाद एक ऊपर कैंडल बनती थी, right? We got a breakout above this, breakout above this and this, right? And then we saw a breakdown, right? Below the level of 4295 on monthly closing basis, we saw quite a good breakdown. So looking at the overall structure, you might say that this level is looking quite lucrative, but once the stock has given quite a vertical move and then it sees a breakdown, then I don't really prefer going with it. Even though I think daily maybe the structure is looking not quite so good. So I think for me devil's lab is an avoid. In case you have any better opportunities in pharmaceutical, then you should go and prefer buying that. Okay, next we have L&T Infotech. L&T Infotech, maybe it is quite the same scene as L&T Technology, but L&T Technology is looking quite better than compared to L&T Infotech. अब L&T Infotech में क्या हुआ है that इसने ये वाले जोन को retest किया है, which is from 4483 to 3525. So the stop loss is somewhere around 3500 weekly closing basis. Now this stop loss is for a very long term view, right? Because often when people buy stocks for like 1 year or so, they do not really wait for this 47% correction which has come from the top. So in case you have a very, very long-term view, then 3500 weekly closing basis is the stop loss for L&T Infotech, and you can maintain a hold. Also buy some more shares in this level. Similarly for Devil's Lab also, like I said, if you are planning to exit right now, given the fact that it has given a closing below 43.95, then that should be only the case when you have like 1 or 2 year view or so. In case you are planning to, make a bigger set of view, which is like for 5 years or 10 years down the line, then you can, keep your stop loss at 3100 weekly closing basis, and you can maintain a hold and buy on declines. अभी आपके व्यू पे डिपेंड करता है यार कि आपको स्टॉक कितने टाइम के लिए होल्ड करना है, राइट? अगर आपका लाइक इमीडिएट टर्म के लिए व्यू है 1 से 2 साल 3 साल, राइट, तो इसमें से एग्जिट करना अच्छा है. बट इफ योर व्यू इज लाइक more than 5 years or so, then it is quite good enough to hold with the stop loss 3100 on weekly closing basis. Technical view on Naukri and DMAT. Yeah, Naukri में तो एक clean and clear breakdown है. So honestly, I will not tell to buy this one. Even for a quite a longer time view. Naukri में breakdown है, so we'll just stick with the avoid on Naukri. The next we have DMAT. DMAT यार अच्छा है. DMAT is looking quite good. Like I shared that day also, monthly पे ये logarithmic time scale की trend line पे trade कर रहा है, right? So it is trading on the trend line right now, and it is looking quite good. You don't really have to worry about anything on DMAT right now, and it also retested this particular zone of 3300. So DMAT is looking quite good. You might see new all-time highs making in like next 1 to 2 year or so. So 1 से 3 साल के लिए this is quite good. Cummins India. Okay, Cummins India का structure, Cummins India saw the first breakout back in 650 levels. If I see the charts right now, then I'll see that all-time high resistance zone के अंदर trade कर रहा है 1100 से 1240. So it is trading in the all-time high resistance zone right now, and given the fact that the stock is making higher lows, I think if you have any kind of investment on it, you can maintain a hold with stop loss 840 weekly closing basis. There is nothing to worry about right now, but in case if you are looking to buy any new investment, then I think it will be better to wait for 950 odd levels. But if you have any investment, then you can stick with it with the stop loss 840 on weekly closing basis. You might see a breakout above the all-time high quite soon, given the fact that it's a stock है, ये नीचे से higher lows बना के आया है, clean and clear, right? So it continued its journey on the way up, making higher highs and higher lows. So you can maintain a hold with stop loss 840 weekly closing basis, and you might see levels of 1300 or even 1500 is possible if we see a breakout above the all-time high. So maintain a hold on Cummins. How do you see GoKex? यार GoKex में बस एक कंसर्न है कि प्रमोटर की होल्डिंग थोड़ी कम हो रही है, right? So promoter is continuously reducing the holding. Long-term charts of GoKex are quite positive. We saw a vertical rally and we got a breakout above this level also. So long-term का जो stop loss है, that is 350 monthly closing basis right now. right? If you have a like 1 to 3 years view. But if you have 350 weekly closing basis if you have like a 1 to 3 years view. Okay. So promoter की holding इसमें कम हो रही है. That is the only concern. Results were quite good. I remember seeing the results recently. On the upside, I think ये वाले के ऊपर breakout आया with this one. So 325, 425. I think somewhere around 600 to 650 levels are possible on the upside. With a stop loss of 350 on weekly closing basis, you can maintain a hold. And if you have not bought, then buying zone would be good around 400 to 430. 400 to 430 will be a good buying zone, right? With a stop loss of 350 on weekly closing basis. So that's the view on GoKex. Bought GoKex at 445 prospects. यार देखो वही GoKex में जैसे मैं बोला 350 का वीकली क्लोजिंग बेसिस का स्टॉप लॉस है, राइट? बट दिस इज फॉर इफ यू हैव 1 to 3 years व्यू. अगर आपका व्यू जो है वो 5 year प्लस का है, देन ये 350 वीकली क्लोजिंग बेसिस वाले स्टॉप लॉस को आप शिफ्ट करके 325 मान लो, ठीक है? क्योंकि ये वाला स्विंग लो जो है दिस विल बी कंसिडर्ड इफ यू हैव अ slightly longer time frame view. So 325 weekly closing basis if your view is 5 year plus. And targets can be see basically a long term में कोई target set करके ऐसा चलता नहीं. But if you have like 1 to 3 years view, then you can possibly see 650, 700 coming up. And like 5 year plus can possibly do 4 digits plus also, right? Because उस केस में तो थोड़ा fundamental side पे ज़्यादा play होता है. Jamna Auto short term view. Okay, Jamna Auto on short term. Let's have a look at that. Okay, so this is Jamna Auto. अब Jamna Auto में यार monthly charts पे we got a quite rejections. देखो यार monthly पे क्या होता है? Whenever I look for breakout ना, I look for closing of that candle. अब ये वाली candle यहाँ पे closing हुई, इसने नया high बना दिया, फिर से नया high बना दिया, फिर से नया high बना दिया. So currently the all-time high is 125, and if I shift to daily here, if you have asked me for short-term view, so daily में the stock went above. Let me have a closer look. It went above this level, I think, recently, right? And then it made a low of somewhere around this level. So yeah, okay. The short-term stop loss is coming somewhere around 94 on daily closing basis for Jamna Auto. Your question was for short-term. So 94 on daily closing basis for short-term, and targets on the upside can be 125, 95 is how much? 30. So 150 and 160 can be the target on the upside. So you can maintain a hold on Jamna Auto with this stop loss and for the following targets. When you pick up stock, you consider fundamental or only price action? Yeah, I take into account like 70% of my reasoning is based on technicals, and 30% I also consider fundamentals. अगर मैं कोई भी stock को trading के view से ले रहा हूँ, then I do not preferably go for fundamentals a lot, right? क्योंकि एक या दो दिन में कंपनी का फंडामेंटल चेंज नहीं होगा, right? So it depends. If I'm planning like to pick a stock for investment view, then I will like to stick with both of them 50-50%. And in case I'm planning for a trading view, then 80% technicals, then 20% just brush off ऊपर से देख के fundamentals का. Okay, JSW Energy. Let's have a look at that. JSW Energy saw a vertical rally on monthly charts. ये वाले high के ऊपर breakout आया recently. So the long-term stop loss on JSW Energy is 210 monthly closing basis, right? This is a long-term stop loss. And for short-term also, the stop loss is looking same only, just the fact that it will be 210 daily closing basis. Okay, and the overall structure is looking positive, so you can stay intact. There is nothing to worry about in JSW Energy. Upside, you can potentially see अगर ये 410 के ऊपर चला जाता है, right? 410 के ऊपर चला जाता है, then you can possibly see new high making and the stock going towards 600 or so. So you can maintain a hold on this one, nothing to worry about. Can you review Tata Power in short-term and long-term view? Okay, Tata Power in short-term and long-term view. Tata Power also saw a vertical rally, and the stop loss is coming somewhere around 125 on monthly closing basis. But that is for, again, a very long-term view, 5-year plus का view है in that case. And if you have like a relatively smaller view, which is for short-term, then your stop loss is coming 200 on daily closing basis. This is for short term, and अगर 1 से 3 साल का व्यू है तो 200 वीकली क्लोजिंग बेसिस भी रखा जा सकता है स्टॉप लॉस. 125 monthly closing basis if you have a 5-year plus view. On the upside, I think यार देखो यहाँ पे एक ब्रेकआउट आया था. Honestly, मेरा टारगेट टाटा पावर में was somewhere around 66 points here. So 325, 350 मेरा short term का target था, right? And currently the stock, gave up the gains after the breakout and is consolidating right now. So there is nothing to worry about. 200 daily closing basis is a good level to hold on to, and weekly closing basis for 1 to 3 years. Nothing to worry. Shri Ram Properties. Yeah, Shri Ram Properties. Okay, no. Strict avoid Shri Ram Properties. I am, going to avoid giving any kind of view here. इसका issue price कितना था? Let me have a look at that. Okay, 113 to 118 का issue price था, and currently it is trading around 60. Strict avoid. There is nothing on charts. Stay completely out. NTPC. Okay, NTPC monthly is trading at the resistance of 149 to 152. So yeah, I mean यार अगर कोई better opportunity है तो you should preferably go for that instead of NTPC. So and avoid on NTPC as well for the time being. Like in case you are holding on, then you can keep a stop loss at 119 weekly closing basis. But I would likely avoid this one, because if we have better opportunities, then it is better to go for that. But if you are holding on and you have surplus cash with you, then you can keep a stop loss at 120 weekly closing basis and maintain a hold on the same. Okay, Tata Motors. यार Paytm को तो बिल्कुल avoid करो. Paytm is a strict avoid right now. एक बार मैं फिर से चार्ट खोल के दिखा देता हूँ. So this is the chart of Paytm, right? Quite a falling knife, right? It tried to go above this particular level, but then it completely failed down. So right now it is trading around 521. उसके भी नीचे एक बार breakdown दिया था. So no, यार, right now it does not really make a lot of sense to buy Paytm also. So avoid it for the time being. In case we have any kind of setups, then I will possibly update regarding the same. Some technical analysts might argue that we can get a potential double bottom reversal here, but getting a double bottom reversal here, we need a breakout above 690 to 720 zone first. And given the fact that how it is moving right now, and all the new age companies not able to do quite well, it is best to stay a bit far right now from the same. Tata Motors, Tata Power. Yeah, Tata Power पे already मैंने view दे दिया. Let me have a look at the two, Tata Chemicals and Tata Motors. Okay, so once again, Tata Chemicals, saw quite a vertical rally. We went above this, we went above this. So the monthly closing basis stop loss is 750 if you have a 1 to 3 years view. This is the stop loss for 1 to 3 years view. And if you have a shorter time view, then your stop loss is coming 780 on daily closing basis. You can stay intact. There is nothing to worry about in Tata Chemicals. ये वाली trend line के ऊपर भी recently एक breakout आया, and ये वाली trend line अब retest भी हो रही है. So there is nothing to worry about in Tata Chemicals. You can stay intact. Tata Motors की बात कर लेते हैं. Tata Motors saw quite a good move, right? And it is currently consolidating. So 350 to 360, ये अच्छा buying zone है. The stop loss is coming somewhere around 265 on weekly closing basis. Overall trend is looking all right, but from a short-term view, I will not like it very much. Like if you have a 1 to 3 years view, you can stay intact with it, and you can also plan on buying somewhere between 350 to 360 zone. Okay, NTPC यार already बता दिया. Nykaa RBL, JMA Auto कौन सा है यार? JMA Auto not found. Let check the stock name once again. Nykaa and RBL एक बार देख लेते हैं. देखो Nykaa में भी similar structure बन रहा है जो Paytm में था, right? The stock continued to go down. I think Nykaa का issue price कितना था? 1085 to 1125. So like I tell you that ये जो IPOs के issue price होते हैं, they are like the birth date of any kind of stock. So for Nykaa, like I said, 1085 to 1125 is the birth mark, right? So it is quite lower than the current levels. अभी यहाँ पे एक double bottom की possibility है, right? Even in Paytm, like I said, Paytm, Nykaa, इन सब में एक double bottom का chance है. There's a possibility, right? So, like in case you have a lot of surplus cash to bet on these particular new age companies, then you can potentially buy them at current levels and keep the stop loss to be their recent low which they have made. ये जो 1200 का इसमें बनाया है recent low, you can keep the stop loss at 1200 on Nykaa and you can buy some shares here. But the risk is equivalent, right? क्योंकि ये double bottom की possibility है यहाँ पे. It can form a double bottom also, or it can give a breakdown on the downside as well, because there's a double bottom possibility. अब ये जो double bottom का validation है, this will happen only above the level of 1900, right? So you can buy some shares and keep a stop loss at 1200 on Nykaa, and you can buy some shares and keep a stop loss at 500 on Paytm. Okay, but only like small allocation, not going big is not, the good choice here. And RBL Bank, let's have a look at that. RBL Bank is, trading around the all-time lows right now. Yeah, I think इनका अभी रिजल्ट आया था recently. The results were okayish only, and given that it is trading at the all-time lows, I think short-term trend अभी weak है, long-term trend भी अभी weak है. Once again, similar case like Paytm and Nykaa here. If you have surplus cash, you can buy and keep a stop loss at 100. Like ये सिर्फ उस केस में कि अगर आपके पास बहुत सारा surplus cash पड़ो. But इस time पे, there are so many better opportunities in L&T technology services. You have an L&T Infotech, right? And you have an Adani Wilmar, and you have, plenty of other stocks to bet on. So in case, you want to go like small allocation, let's say 2% or 5% on any kind of stock, 2% or 4% allocation करना है किसी पे, then you can, go for Nykaa, you can go for Paytm, you can go for RBL Bank, you can keep stop loss 100 here, you can keep stop loss 500 here, and you can keep stop loss, how much was it? 1200, right? And you can keep stop loss 1200 here. So यहाँ पे small allocation में जाओ अभी, क्योंकि जो trend है इन stocks का ये weak है, right? The stocks have been making lower high, lower lows since their listing time and from the top. So छोटे stop loss से you can buy छोटा allocation like 2 से 4% का, and then जब इनमें price action positive होता है, when they start to make higher high, higher lows, then you can increase your allocation by some bit. Should one exit Nazara? Yeah, Nazara recently came around the issue price, और ये वाले issue price के नीचे इसने closing नहीं दी, and it has also declared bonus. So वही यार वापस same वही वाला केस है, Paytm Nykaa वाला. इसमें भी छोटे allocation से ही खेलना. Overall जो technical का structure है, that is not quite good. ये वाले level के नीचे breakdown आया था, but इसने 1:1 bonus दिया है, and इसका जो issue price था, that was how much? 1100, right? So if I just mark that level on chart, you will see that it did not give a weak closing below that level. So once again, the birthmark is acting quite good. So वही छोटा allocation वाली बात है. अभी overall trend negative है. Keep your allocation small. Yeah. RBA, Restaurant Brand Asia, Burger King. Let's have a look at that. Okay, so this is RBA. Burger King का issue price कितना था? Burger King issue price was 59 to 60. Monthly chart is looking very, very weak. If you have any kind of holding in it, exit out. Clean view on Burger King. Exit. Vector Food. Vector Food का ओवरऑल स्ट्रक्चर अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है. यहाँ पे एक ब्रेकडाउन आया, नीचे जा रहा है अभी. इशू प्राइस कितना था एक बार देख लेते हैं. इशू प्राइस वाज 286 to 288. तो यहाँ पे अभी इशू प्राइस के आसपास ही है. 286 was the issue price, and even below the issue price we got a monthly closing. So overall it is looking weak. So Vector Food is also an exit. Okay, it is moving in a downtrend, gave me a closing below the issue price also on monthly closing basis. Overall trend is also weak, so exit out of the same. NTPC already हो गया है. Praj and HDFC Limited. एक सेकंड, कितना मैसेज हो गया यार? Praj. Let me have a look at Praj Industries. Okay, Praj Industries, gave me a good breakout above this level, and it is currently consolidating. So you can maintain a hold on Praj Industries. It is a good company, and I think 600, 700 ke targets aa sakte hain. So 290 weekly closing basis will be the stop loss for Praj Industries, and hold for targets of 600 and 700 on this one. So 290 weekly closing basis will be a good stop loss. Currently, it is an attractive buy at current levels. HDFC Limited. HDFC Limited is also, looking. Let me just bring up the chart real quick. Okay, HDFC Limited. There we have the chart. I think after the merger news, it started to go down a bit. The stop loss is coming somewhere around the March to 2020 lows, but that is going to be quite lower. So that will be a very, very long term view. In case you have a short term view, तो ये वाले इसके लेवल के ऊपर ब्रेकआउट आया था, इसके नीचे यहाँ पे आपको एग्जिट मिल गया. तो शॉर्ट लाइक अगर एक से एक साल या कुछ शॉर्ट टर्म का व्यू है, then you should exit. But if you have a long term view, then you can stay intact with the story. Short term view exit, long term view stay intact. Veranda Learning. Veranda Learning where you should stay intact. I think ये 189.55 का जो इसने recent low बनाया है. Let me just show you the chart on BSE once. If you plot the anchor VWAP right here, you will see that how the stock is trying to take support at the anchor VWAP. So इसमें जो stop loss है on Veranda Learning, it is going to be very, very easy. We are going to keep the stop loss at 185 on daily closing basis. We are going to keep small allocation on this, right? और इसमें मैंने अभी के लिए short term view दिया chart के हिसाब से. Giving a long term view as per the chart will be a little bit difficult for me because we have very, very less data, right? तो उतने कम data पे हम long term का view नहीं बना सकते. So in case you have short term view, you can keep a stop loss at 186 on daily closing basis, and possibly last week of May might be positive for Veranda, given that they have an EGM on 27th May, extraordinary general meeting at 27th May. So the last week can be quite good for Veranda. Okay, Bombay dying by current market price 111, short term 1 month view. Bombay dying with a 1 month view. Let me have a look at that. Monthly chart तो ठीक लग रहा है. Weekly chart में भी एक breakout आया है इस level के ऊपर, right? ये वाले level के ऊपर breakout आया है यहाँ पे. So short term के लिए view पूछ रहे हैं. Let's have a look at that. यहाँ पे एक breakout आया, then इसके ऊपर एक breakout आया. तो short term के view के लिए you can keep a stop loss at 85 on daily closing basis, and potentially 1 month के अंदर you might see levels of 137 and 140 coming in. So you can maintain a hold on Bombay dying for a 1 month view. Riyank, how many of experience? Yeah, I have been in markets since the last 8 or 9 years now. Like I said, I started at the age of 14 and I'm turning 23 in a week. So 9 years roughly. Kabra Extraction and United Drilling. यार एक्चुअली बहुत सारे मैसेज हो गए शायद. Okay, not much. Kabra Extraction and United Drilling. So अभी यार यहाँ पे मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ? Since we are just 15 minutes short, I am going to disable the chat in another 4 minutes. ठीक है, 4 मिनट के लिए मैंने chat box open रख रखा है. I am going to disable the chat in another 4 minutes, and then if you have any questions, you can just raise your hand and I'll allow you to unmute yourself. Kabra Extraction and United Drilling. Let's have a look at that. Kabra Extraction. On monthly charts, we have a vertical rally. So 230 monthly closing basis, long-term stop loss. You can maintain a hold. I think अगर short-term का view है, then there might be a little bit pressure coming in, right? Given the market volatility जैसे चल रही है, और इसका जो short-term structure है, that is also not quite positive. So short-term view है तो avoid करो. Long-term view है, then you can stick with 230. You can stick with 230 monthly closing basis as a stop loss. Okay, United Drilling Tools. So this is United Drilling Tools. I think इसका BSE पे देख लेते हैं. Data थोड़ा ज़्यादा होगा, right? So on BSE, this is United Drilling Tools looking quite good. We got a vertical rally, and then once again the stop loss is coming 335 on monthly closing basis. For long term, you can maintain the view, and for short term also, it is looking quite okay only. Volumes are relatively lesser on this counter. So long term view है तो इस stock को hold करो. You might see new all time high above 600 coming in very soon. It's a good quality company. Sale for long term. Okay, sale for long term, got a good breakout, above 112. So the stop loss was 79 on monthly closing basis as per the, momentum trading setup. अगर अभी बहुत ज्यादा लॉन्ग टर्म का व्यू है तब तो 20 रुपीज का लेवल आ रहा है, बट दैट इज क्वाइट लोअर, राइट? सो द स्टॉप लॉस इज 79 ऑन मंथली क्लोजिंग बेसिस, एंड अगर अभी स्टॉक 83 के आसपास ट्रेड कर रहा है, इट मेक्स इट एन अट्रैक्टिव बाय एट करंट लेवल्स, राइट? So sale is looking an attractive buy at current levels, given that it is trading somewhere around 83. And ये वाली अगर अपन ट्रेंड लाइन को कनेक्ट करते हैं तो यहाँ से एक छोटा सा रिजेक्शन आया था, राइट? ये वाली ट्रेंड लाइन से एक छोटा सा रिजेक्शन आया था. So 83 के आसपास it is looking like quite a good buy, and you can see levels of 150 and 160 coming in on sale. So attractive buy at current levels. Okay, Root Mobile. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, Root Mobile में अभी recently एक breakdown आया था, as far as I remember. Yeah, so a clean and clear breakout on weekly charts. Root Mobile is an exit if you have like 1 to 3 years view, but if you have like a relatively longer view, अगर 5 साल से ज़्यादा का view है, then you can keep a stop loss at 1090 on monthly closing basis and you can maintain a hold. लेकिन अगर 1 से 3 साल का view है, 1 to 3 years view or short term view, then exit, avoid. Okay, but this is just for if you have like 5-year plus view. Okay, so that is for Root Mobile. Power extraction हो गया. Newgen देख लेते हैं एक बार. Okay, this is Newgen. Newgen is quite a good company as far as I have heard from my fundamental side. And 320 to 370 will be a good buying zone. The stop loss is coming around 300 on monthly closing basis. So 323 to 372 remains a good buy zone. Abhi 388 chal raha hai. SIP mode mein you can keep buying the stock, right? Overall, long-term structure is positive, and the story is also quite attractive. So I think it can do well going forward in the long run. लेकिन अगर short term का view है, then no. Short term के लिए avoid. Long term के लिए you can buy this on SIP mode. It is a good company. JBM Auto यार recently काफी अच्छी रैली हुई थी. I think split या bonus कुछ तो आया था. So above this particular resistance, we got a breakout and quite a good rally, right? Also, यार देखो long term के लिए the stop loss is coming 369 on monthly closing basis, right? And short term के लिए the stop loss is coming this particular eligible level, which is 380 on daily closing basis. So overall prospect is looking fine. We got a breakout above this level recently, and ये वाले level पे इसने retest भी किया. Short term, long term के लिए दोनों JPM Auto is looking positive. So you can maintain a hold. There is nothing to worry about on the scene. Wellspun Industries. Let's have a look at that. Wellspun Industries. Wellspun India Industries. Wellspun Industries is Wellspun India only. Let's consider, right? So this is Wellspun India. Wellspun India में ये वाले level के ऊपर एक breakout आया था, but then it gave me a breakdown below this level, and right now the overall structure is not looking that great. So avoid Wellspun India. Okay, avoid Wellspun India. Webhub Global. Webhub Global में भी यार एक vertical rally आई थी, ये वाले level के ऊपर breakout आया, but then it gave me a breakdown below this level. On weekly also, the overall structure is not looking that great. So I will, suggest to avoid and exit Webhub Global if you have any holdings here. Avoid Webhub Global, avoid Wellspun Industries, Godrej Properties and KCP. Godrej Properties, let's have a look at that. Godrej Properties gave me a breakout above this level, and on weekly also, it gave me quite a good breakout above this level, rallied quite much. Now it is, back in the accumulation zone. So 1200 से 1500 का एक अच्छा buying zone है. 1200 to 1500 is a buying zone. So it is looking quite attractive at current levels. Godrej Properties, you can keep a stop loss at 1200 on weekly closing basis, and you can buy this one. The group is quite good, and the company overall fundamentally and technically is looking quite positive. So you can buy and add on Godrej Properties. Next is KCP. This is KCP Limited, 108. All-time high resistance set for halka sa rejection आया, and now it is consolidating, moving in a downward channel. Right, downward channel में अभी चल रहा है. So right now, तो KCP will be an avoid for me. But in case you get a breakout above 133, then you can bring it back on radar. Right now, look for better bets. Then is ISGEC Heavy Engineering. Let's have a look at that. यार ये मेरे को chat disable करने की मैं भूल गया. Let me just disable the chat real quick. Okay. ISGEC Heavy Engineering. Let's have a look at that one. In case you have any questions, you can raise your hand now and you can unmute yourself. We just have like 10 or 15 minutes more. We'll be taking questions and then we'll be just winding up with the session. And ISGC Heavy Engineering ने ऊपर से एक red candle का rejection दिया. Currently the stock is moving in a downward channel. If you have any better opportunities, go and search for that. This one can be avoided at current levels. IDBI First Bank. Yeah, IDFC First Bank है पहली बात तो. Okay, this is IDFC First Bank. IDFC First Bank में एक अच्छा breakout आया ये वाले zone के ऊपर. And currently the stock is moving in a downward channel. Short-term prospect, strictly avoid. Long-term prospect, मुझे कुछ इतना खास लग नहीं रहा है. So avoid IDFC First Bank. There is nothing looking good here technically to do. Okay, Lupin, Just Dial, Alembic Pharma. Let's have a look at that. Lupin. This is Lupin. Yeah, Lupin के चार्ट में इतना कुछ attractive मेरे को अभी दिख नहीं रहा है. So avoid on Lupin. There is nothing attractive looking. Monthly पे अगर कुछ attractive नहीं दिखता, then I preferably don't go down on smaller time frames. Let's have a look at Just Dial. Just Dial में एक अच्छा breakout आया था ये वाले consolidation zone के ऊपर. Right above this consolidation zone, we got a good breakout. If you have a long-term view, then you can keep a stop loss at 560 on monthly closing basis and maintain a hold. But if you have a short-term view here, then the short-term trend is looking not quite so good. Short-term avoid, long-term you can hold the stop loss 560 on monthly closing basis. Okay, next, Bayer Crop Science, Alembic Pharma. This is APL Limited. APL Limited का यार overall chart अच्छा है and recently this came out of F&O also. So that is another plus point. Overall, APL Limited is a fantastic company. Alembic Group पे मैं starting से bullish हूँ. The entire Alembic Group, the Alembic Limited as well as the Alembic Pharma, both of these companies are quite bullish. So you can continue accumulating on this one, and you might see new all-time high coming in in the next 1 to 3 years or so. So quite good to buy at current levels, Alembic Pharma Limited. Next was Bayer Crop Sciences. Bayer Crop Sciences, the stop loss is coming around 4,200 on weekly closing basis. I think it discussed ho gaya tha. The 4,200 weekly closing basis will be the stop loss right now. You can maintain a hold if you have, but yeah, the short term is not so good. Do you prefer or advise to look for capital for long-term view with a hope or capture short-term movement? Okay, let's take this one later. Your top 5 stocks that you are going to hold for next 10 to 15 years. Yeah, man, I generally do not hold stocks for such long duration, 10 to 15 years or so. But I mean, in case if I had to think about any, then Reliance is a good one to bet on for next 10 to 15 years. The HDFC twins are both great, and as well as the Godrej Group. So these 3 are the top groups which I would like to bet on for the next 10 to 15 years. Not Adani, definitely not Adani for 10 to 15 years. Godrej Properties, KCP, IDFC First Bank हो गया, Sona, Comstar, Bitcoin, United Spirits. Yeah, United Spirit is quite good. United Spirits for a long-term view is fantastic at current levels. It gave me an amazing breakout above 730 to 816 zone, and it is currently retesting the breakout zone. So overall, if you have like a 5-year plus view, McDowell is a fantastic bet at current levels. United Spirits. You can keep buying or potentially even create a SIP on this one. Looking amazing at current levels. Next is Bitcoin. Let's have a look at that. Bitcoin. Okay, here we have Bitcoin with us. So yeah, Bitcoin का तो overall structure ठीक ही लग रहा है. अभी it is at 30,000. I think crypto currencies में मेरे को ऐसा लगता है crypto currency में सिर्फ 2 ही currency survive करेंगी. One will be Bitcoin, other will be Ether. The rest all will disappear with time. Right, टाइम के साथ सब गायब हो जाएगा. मेरे को लगता है सिर्फ ये 2 ही बचेंगी, Bitcoin and Ether. This is just my personal view. But overall chart is looking fine for Bitcoin. 30,000 is quite an important level. And ये वाले resistance के ऊपर I think breakout आया था, ये वाले zone के ऊपर, right? So it is currently trading at 30,000. Bitcoin is looking quite good. For me, analogy in cryptocurrencies is quite simple. Cryptocurrencies में मेरा analogy बिल्कुल simple है. इसमें जो risk होता है वो आपका 100% होता है. तो जो भी आप पैसा लगा रहे हो, let's say you are investing 10 lakh in it, then there is a possibility that next morning you wake up, right? It might be zero. Right, there's a possibility. Like अभी recently हुआ था एक coin में, I think Luna or something, right? Yeah, this one. See, in just like how much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In just 5 days, your investment on Luna went from like I think 6 या 7,000 होता था इसका price in rupees, 6 or 7,000. In just 5 days, your investment went minus 100%. Right. So in cryptocurrencies, I personally think that यार जो risk होता है वो 100% होता है आपकी investment का. Next morning you wake up, you might not see the amount itself. So 30,000 is looking like a good level, and I think on extreme fear conditions, $15,000 to $20,000 will be a good buying zone for Bitcoin. Okay, and next we have how to pick stock for trading. Yeah, ये तो complicated, right? So ये question अभी हम pick up नहीं करेंगे because that is a little out of context from today's discussion. Apple देख लेते हैं. Apple, one person has asked. This is Apple India. Apple India overall structure is positive. Stop loss is coming around 760 on weekly closing basis. There is honestly nothing to worry in Apple. Apple is a fantastic company to hold for long term, and in short term I think you might see a little bit of pain क्योंकि ये वाले लेवल के नीचे मेरे को डेली क्लोजिंग बेसिस पे ब्रेकडाउन मिला है. तो शॉर्ट टर्म के लिए I will say avoid Apple, but long term के लिए you can add in SIP mode slowly on declines. Stop loss is 760 weekly closing basis. Okay, and long term you can potentially see 1,500 and 2,000 revisiting very very soon. लेकिन short term के लिए view negative है. Next is Uni Apex Alloys for long term. यार ये वाले stock में ना recently थोड़ा time पहले ही breakout आया था when I had shared this one also with few people. तो ये वाले level के ऊपर एक अच्छा breakout आया था, but then it started to go into deep consolidation phase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Almost like since the last 1 year, this stock is consolidating between the zone of 807 to 516. So ये वाले zone में इसका full consolidation चल रहा है. There is nothing to worry right now. You can keep a stop loss at 500 on monthly closing basis, and you can maintain a hold on this one. हो सकता है that within the next 1 or 3 years, this might be trading above the all-time high of 800 something. So overall structure positive है. The stock is just undergoing some consolidation. There is nothing to worry at all. Next, I think, or क्या question था? Sona Comstar was there. And one question from Balaji. So we'll just take these two real quick. Sona Comstar. Okay, this is Sona Comstar on daily. I think daily पे इसमें last जो breakout आया था वो यहाँ पे था. इसके नीचे मुझे closing नहीं मिली, इसके नीचे भी नहीं मिली, इसके नीचे भी नहीं मिली, but इसके नीचे मिल गई. Right. So short term के लिए it is an avoid. But long term के लिए अगर 1 to 3 years का view है, you can buy at current levels because this company is going to do amazingly well in the long run going forward. ये मैं 50% fundamental के basis पे भी बोल रहा हूँ, 50% ग्रोथ के बेसिस में बोल रहा हूँ, और बाकी ये जो अपना पूरा टेक्निकल का व्यू है दैट इज ऑल्सो लुकिंग क्वाइट ग्रेट लॉन्ग टर्म के व्यू से। लॉन्ग टर्म के व्यू से जो इसमें स्टॉप लॉस आएगा मेरा, दैट विल बी 500 ऑन मंथली क्लोजिंग बेसिस। ठीक है, 500 मंथली क्लोजिंग बेसिस इसमें मेरा स्टॉप लॉस होगा लॉन्ग टर्म के व्यू से। एंड वी कैन सी 4 digits or potentially 1500 2000 levels also coming on it in the long term. Short term के लिए please avoid this, but long term के लिए you can continue to buy on every decline. And yeah, well. So the last question was, do you prefer or advise to lock capital for long term view with a hope, or capture short and shorter term price movement and make better money in this so-called new age era, like maybe post Buffett, Warren Buffett like area? Okay, that's quite an interesting question. यार मेरे को तो लगता है, see, I personally find it very very difficult to hold stocks for more than 3 years. तो मेरा जो reasoning होता है, whenever I'm buying any stock, you know, I like to play momentum, right? So I like to play shorter term price movements. I'll be more than happy to capture a stock going from 100 to 200 in 3 months than the same stock going from 100 to 1000 in 3 years. Right? You're getting my point, right? I would be happy to buy a stock that goes from 100 to 200 in just where about 3 months than buying a stock which goes from 100 to 1000 in 3 years. So my goal is, initially to catch the short-term price movements and, play the momentum. राइट अब ये जो 3 साल की ड्यूरेशन है, इसमें मैं ऐसी बहुत सारी अपॉर्चुनिटीज कैच कर सकता हूँ जो 100 से 200 जान ली, राइट? Instead of just blocking my money for the next 3 years, I prefer to play momentum and I like to play shorter term moments. But once again, यार देखो सबका अपना अपना व्यू होता है. There are some people who just like to stick with long term, and I have nothing against them. Okay, so honestly, it depends on yourself. What is your approach towards the market? My approach towards the market is to play short-term price movements, and I personally avoid holding any stock for more than 3 years. Right, 3 साल से ज़्यादा मैं कुछ ऐसा प्लान करके नहीं चलता. Right, but yeah, like I said, everyone has their own mindset and different thought process. But my thought process right now is just to go with short-term price movements. So yeah, okay. So that was pretty much of it from today's session. In case I just have like 10 minutes more, in case anyone has anything to share or discuss out from today's session or today's meet, then you can raise your hand and I'll allow you to unmute yourself. But if you don't, then thank you for joining in. Let me just portray this slide really very quickly, in case you feel your question was missed or anything, then you can contact me at following details. This is my Twitter handle and this is my email ID. Okay, so one person wants to talk. Let me just allow him to unmute himself.
Yes, I am Pavnish Ahuja.
Hi, Pavnish. How are you?
I joined late. तो निफ्टी में आप व्यू क्या है अभी करंटली, और आप क्या इलियट वेव प्लॉट कर सकते हैं उसके ऊपर? कौन सी वेव में चल रहा है अभी और बाकी?
Okay, so see, initially मैं तो elite wave इतना follow नहीं करता. I think Nifty, given the fact that जब तक ये 15,600 के ऊपर है, there is nothing to worry about. Right, until you do not get a breakdown below 15,600, it is quite clean, even on daily closing basis or weekly closing basis. Abhi overall, the structure might be looking a little weak to you from daily, लेकिन जो weekly time frame पे ये जो इसने सपोर्ट जोन को टेस्ट करके जो ग्रीन बार बनाया ना, मुझे लगता है 17,000 और 18,000 एक बार रिविजिट होना चाहिए थोड़े टाइम. सो ओवरऑल लॉन्ग टर्म व्यू पॉजिटिव है. इवन इन द शॉर्ट टर्म ये जो गैप बना था यहाँ पे, which is around 16,600, this gap might be retested, right? So short term long term दोनों व्यू बुलिश.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Okay.
Hello.
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 Hello, Riyanji.
Yeah, hi Balaji. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you for your wonderful session as usual. I had one doubt.
Yes.
Actually, with this, fantastic knowledge and whatever background you have,
Mm-hmm.
you know that age is in your favor, but still you are not, you can easily track multi-baggers and keep it in your purse or a wallet and
Mm-hmm.
make it big. But
Mm-hmm.
is it like discipline? Because people who are double your age, like 40, 50, we are still hoping for multi-baggers. Is it greed?
Mm-hmm.
You know that you can track multi-baggers and keep it in your wallet and make it grow because it can compound. Time is in your favor. But still
Mm-hmm.
you are not very interested and you keep only 3 years view. But
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people have this, they have, maybe it's greed or they think they can track multi-baggers and keep a long-term view, which is not good. So what is
Mm-hmm.
your advice for such people and how to control this?
Okay. So see, what I personally feel is that why I keep not more than 3 years view. There is a very very evident reason for that. Given that I'm just 22 or 23 years old right now, I don't have any consistent income with it. And given that stock market is a business, right? The income keeps fluctuating, right? We do not have any consistent income with it. But like you said, people double my age who like to spot multi-baggers and keep in their portfolio for a long time. They have consistent income with them. They have a lot of money with them, right? Sooner or later I will exhaust on cash, and I might not also have any incoming cash from any source of income or everything. So that is why I like to keep relatively smaller time frame view and play the momentum. Just keep in and out, in and out. But so yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your
Okay, have a good day.
clarity and your clear explanation.
Okay. So I hope I was able to answer each and every one of your questions. In case you feel that your question went unanswered, then you can contact me on these. This is my phone number, this is my email, and this is my Twitter handle. I will be signing off for now. I hope all of you have a wonderful evening ahead and take care of yourself and stay safe. Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone.